Welcome back to the channel. It is Arrow. We just got some more news that the Golemancer got more buffs. I am super excited. We also saw some buffs to Cold Dot. So today I want to talk about the strongest starting Ascendancy node in the entire game, and why if you are playing any witch at all, you must start with this one. So, for those who are not aware, in the most recent patch, Liege of the Primordial has been combined with Elemancer. You no longer need to take two nodes to play Golems on the Elementalist, and one node has become a super node. With no other changes, this would have been an incredibly powerful change. So let's take a look at what Liege of the Primordial does now. Summon Golems are resummoned 4 seconds after being killed. Many people were saying they thought this got deleted. It did not. +2 to the maximum number of summoned Golems, 100% increased effect of buffs granted by your Golems, and Golems are immune to elemental damage. This is a ton. This is good defense. This is good offense. Your Golems are going to be very powerful, and you can get access to this as early as level 34. That is when Golems become available to you in Act 4. In order to make this start work, you need 3 things. You need to buy 4 Golems for a chance orb each. In Act 4, you need to complete the first lab, take Liege of the Primordial on the Elementalist, and take Golem Commander on the trait. If you can do this, you will be armed with what I believe is the strongest single starter node in the entire game. So let's jump into the POB. So this is the Liege of the Primordial. This is super easy. You just get your first Ascendancy, gives you a little res on the way, which is nice. And then you take this node here, Golem Commander. This gives you 80% effect of buffs granted by your Golems, gives them some life, and then gives you +1. So this will get you to 4 with the additional 2 that you get from Liege. These 2 nodes will also give you a combined 180% increased effect of your Golem buffs. A lot of the Golems were changed this league. I'm not going to go over every single minor change, but a lot of the Golems were changed to get additional buffs on top of what they already had, and many of them are static from level 1 to level 20. That means you don't need to level them up to get the buff to be powerful. It is powerful right away. And because you get increased effect of those buffs, there is some incredible power to be had at level 34. So let's talk about them. I want to start with the one that I'm not actually using on the build, but it is super nice. If you are playing any sort of damage over time build, 28 dot multi at level 1. These are all level 1 numbers. Some of these will scale, some of these will not, and I will talk about which ones do and which ones don't. The Chaos Res that you get from the Chaos Golem does not scale, so you'll get 47% Chaos Res at all levels. And then the 28 dot multi does scale, but you get 28 right away. That is really strong considering how little damage over time multiplier is available, particularly generic damage over time multiplier. This works for Poison, for Righteous Fire, for Cold Dot. It is a great all-around stat. So now let's talk about the ones that I do plan on using on my Golementalist. Video coming very soon with all of the final POBs and the MAXROLL guide. The first one we're going to be using is a Stone Golem. The Stone Golem has a huge life pool, so it is very easy to keep this thing alive, and it's also going to provide you 56% increased global defenses at level 1. Keep in mind, everything here has been buffed by the Ascendancy and the Golem Commander node, and nothing else. This doesn't include quality, this doesn't include ashes, this doesn't include anything else on the trait. So 56% increased global defenses. If you are using gear that has, say, hybrid evasion and energy shield, you're going to get a boost to both of those things. If you have a mercenary that has grace and discipline, both of those will be boosted as well. Getting access to extra defenses in the story is incredibly powerful. Running early grace basically means you never get hit. At low levels, grace provides very, very strong evasion, and so does determination. You can also use a Jade Flask with 1500 flat evasion on it. When you combine that with the 56% increased global defenses, you're going to have a significant amount of evade. Next, we have 92 life regen per second. This is at level 34. You only have a couple hundred life at this point, and 100 life per second is going to be a significant recovery layer. 92 life per second is the equivalent of a level 13 vitality. So let's move on to the Flame Golem. The Flame Golem has a non-scalable 56% increased area of effect, meaning you get the 20% base at level 1 and it doesn't get higher as you go on. Now you can add buff effect, of course, but 56 is what you get at level 1. 56% AoE is the equivalent of 2 area of effect wheels on the tree, approximately 6 points worth of AoE. This is unbelievably strong, and any skill that scales with area of effect, specifically Glacial Cascade, which scales single target from area of effect, is going to benefit greatly. On top of that, you get 56% increased damage, which in the end game is a good amount. But early on, you are starved for increased spell damage. This is going to feel like a massive boost in power just from this one line. This number does scale up to 29 base, so you can do the math, but the Flame Golem is super, super powerful. Next, we have the Ice Golem, which I'll I'll be using in the early game. This gives a 112% critical strike chance, allowing you to go crit earlier on a build than you would have otherwise. Or if you want to use Elemental Overload, 112% critical strike chance is going to take a 6% base crit skill and turn it into something like 13 or 14 base crit, which will be trivial to keep up Elemental Overload. This would be great if you're playing a dot that also has a hit portion. The Ice Golem also gives a bunch of accuracy, but I can't fathom why anyone would care about that. I really wish they would have taken the accuracy off the Ice Golem. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, and maybe replaced it with something else, percent evasion, something like that. But I don't think there's a single person in Path of Exile that is using an Ice Golem for its flat accuracy. Next, we have the Lightning Golem, which is going to give you 28% increased attack and cast speed. Again, this base is not scalable. It stays 10% through all gem levels. But again, with the quality, but again, with the buff effect, we are at 28% attack and cast speed, which is absurd. Again, 28 cast speed is 2 entire wheels of cast speed on the tree, and then 28 attack speed, you probably aren't going to be investing in this otherwise, but consider it like a faster attacks gem for your shield charge. So shield charge plus faster attacks plus the Lightning Golem, you're going to be insanely fast to the story. 28 increased attack and cast speed is the equivalent of a level 27 haste gem. Now, of course, you don't get the move speed, but you can see how powerful this number is. Lastly, the Lightning Golem provides something that is so powerful, I cannot believe they put these numbers in the game. The Lightning Golem will give you 20.4 mana regen per second at level 1, and this is a scalable number with levels. 20 mana regen per second is the equivalent of a level 11 Clarity. That much flat mana regen is available almost nowhere else in the game, and will be a massive boost to any build that uses mana. The Eldritch Battery days as an easy mana solution are long gone, and now we have a true solution on the Elementalist that will allow you to deal with mana throughout the entire story. I recommend that anyone that is playing any witch is going to start leveling with a Golementalist. Whatever skill you're using, use that skill, but grab the Golem nodes first, get all of these buffs for yourself, and then you can respec later. Gold respecking has been introduced into PoE 1 into the core game, and it is not expensive early on. If you want to respec at second lab at level 55 or even at 67 or 8 before you get to maps, this power is so incredibly strong. I find it very difficult to pass up on any witch. I know I'm going to be starting with this because I'm playing a Glacial Cascade Golemancer. All of these buffs are absolutely unbelievable for my build, and I cannot wait to get started. There will be a full MAXROLL guide and more videos to come. If you want to see the latest POB, make sure you stop by my stream, twitch.tv/AER0__. I'm live every single day, and I will be live right after this video. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things for the algorithm, and I will see you over on my stream. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care.